I'm going to make a statement that I firmly believe, and I refuse to be held to it at a later time. Although, candidly, I think I'll be held to this one. I believe that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be the #1 seed in the NFC. And that is because if you look at the divisions, all the other three are loaded. The NFC West is loaded. The NFC North is loaded. And the NFC South is probably the best division in the entire NFL. The NFC East stinks. There are three new quarterback situations, or three jumbled or questionable quarterback situations, three new head coaches. Meanwhile, the Eagles are the model of stability. They have the best quarterback in the division. In my opinion, they won the division last year, and they've gotten better. The Cowboys were their closest competition last year, and they've gotten worse. So I am going to double down this morning on my belief that the Eagles are going to win the NFC East easily because it is the worst division in the NFL, and they have, in my opinion, the #1 track on the #1 seed in the NFC. I've got RC and Domonique. What do you guys think? Neek, you first.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you're not saying that they're going to be the best team. You're saying that they have a terrible division, so they're going to find their way to the #1 seed. I think that that's a reasonable take. I got to be honest with you, it's kind of weak. Plausible deniability is a spot where you can take your ambitious takes. I thought you were going to say something like Tampa Bay was going to win the NFC. But I do think that the Eagles have the inside track, but I don't think they're the best team. I would certainly rather be the 49ers in this situation. If the goal is to win the Super Bowl, I understand having that bye. If the Eagles get it, does help you get there. But I have a lot more confidence in the 49ers returning just about everyone except for DeForest Buckner to their team and losing Emmanuel Sanders on the offensive side. I have more confidence in them being able to repeat and make a deep run than I do necessarily in the Eagles. If you're saying the Eagles are going to win out the NFC, I think you're also saying that Carson Wentz is going to be the league MVP, which I'm not sure that I believe that.
I wouldn't bet against it, I'll tell you that. And I will say this, you cannot overstate the significance of the bye. Do you know how many teams in the last 7 years have made the Super Bowl without a bye on Wild Card Weekend? 0. Ryan Clark.
Right, I get it, but that they got the bye because they're the best team. So it's hard to differentiate between the fact that the bye got them there or the fact that they're the best team through the regular season got them there.
They're not always the best team. Sometimes they're the team with the worst division. The New England Patriots have been getting byes in the wild card round in part over the years because they've been winning a terrible division and they sort of stockpile wins against bad teams. It's not a criticism. It's just the reality of the situation, and it's where I think the Eagles find themselves. RC?
Greeny, listen, this is not a wild take. I see what you did here. You just used logic. You played with some numbers. You're stuck inside your house. You can't get anywhere. And so you're trying to figure out things that you could say. They'd be like, you know what? I know this is crazy, but here's all the facts that make it not crazy. I don't know who you are now, man. Hopefully I get to see you soon, man, and, give you some love and get you back to the Greeny I used to know, because what are you doing? This is the offseason. And just because you think that they're going to have the upper hand on some teams that have some things going on, that doesn't mean they're going to get the #1 seed. I don't know if they could beat a San Francisco, who was in a good division last year and ended up being the #1 overall seed in the NFC. You still have the New Orleans Saints, and though the South is different, you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The South is different. One of those teams could come out too. And there are other games they have to play outside of the NFC East. I do believe they win the division. I believe they represent the division in the playoffs. But to just go out and say, hey, you're a team that had to fight at the end of the season, you were playing with quarterbacks and wide receivers, all of a sudden you're going to be so great, I think it's a little tough to say. Now, you do pick up Slay, you pick up Roby Coben, Hargraves on defense. So I believe they'll be a better team than they were last year, but I'm not ready to make them the #1 overall seed in the NFC.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.